her today at the reception. A glass of wine in her hand. I knew she was gonna meet her connection. At her feet was a footloose man. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, well, you might find you get what you need. Oh, yeah, yeah. And I went down to the demonstration to get my fair share of abuse, singing we're gonna vent our frustration. If we don't, we're gonna blow a 50 amp fuse. Sing it to me. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, well, you just might find you get what you need. Oh, baby, yeah. Oh, I went down to the Chelsea drugstore to get your prescription filled. I was standing in line with Mr. Jimmy. A man, did he look pretty ill? We decided that we would have a soda. My favorite flavor, cherry red. I sung my song to Mr. Jimmy. Yeah, and he said one word to me, and that was there. I said to him, you can't always get what you want. No, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. No, but if you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need. Oh yeah. Woo! You get what you need. Yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. I saw her today at the reception.
Hello, good afternoon. How the devil are you? I thought I would do a little bit about something important today, mainly because Shabana Mahmood, the I can't even think what she is, um, that woman, Home Office woman, she has decided that she's going to talk tough on illegal immigration, specifically people coming in on boats. And what she's going to do instead is give them a first class ticket and visa, or status or citizenship, whatever it is. It's a bait and switch. And we know it. I know it. You know it. We all know it. And I thought what I would do today, because I'm really intrigued by this, some old things you and I all learned when we were at school, really simple psychology. And I think we must be having weird things going on with the system. Here it is. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is something I can never do this. This is something we should all learn about, right? And if you don't know about it, this is basically what a human needs to really thrive. Okay, so we're going to start. We're down the bottom. We have breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. Now, I would say most people in the United Kingdom have those things. We can breathe, we have food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. So that means that we can sleep at night, we have somewhere to sleep, we have clothes to wear, we have food and water. We're not starving to death. We may sometimes be hungry, and obviously not everybody has quite enough food to keep perfectly adequately warm. Their houses might not be great, but the very basics are normally covered, right? So we are in this position that not everybody on earth is in, but we are quite used to that now. Our parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents, and so on, they've done something in this country that means that we can sort of rely on the physiological needs that we have, the very, very basics to survive, right? So we, us privileged over here in the United Kingdom, what we want also, and many of us have, is health, employment, property, family, and social ability. So that's safety and security. That's your next level that you need in order to progress to the next level. So many of us, we are relatively healthy because we've got the breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. And most of us have our health. That's really important to thrive and survive. Obviously, if you have debilitating conditions or degenerative conditions, you don't have that health. And when you don't have that, or you know someone that doesn't have that, that's a really, really important part of life. It becomes like that's your whole life. If your health isn't right, that can actually be your entire life can be fighting that particular health condition, right? Or fighting for your health. Property, so that would mean owning, renting, not just being able to sort of shelter from the rain, but actually having a house to live in. And family is something that we all need to sort of nurture and build to the next thing, and social ability. So that would be safety and security, right? So we need those things. We need to be safe, we need to feel safe, and we need security. And then the next level is family, friendship, intimacy, and a sense of connection. Now, I believe that fundamentally society, because of the trans shit, and so much lies and everything, one of the things we're really losing, or two of the things we're really losing there, is family and sense of connection. And that sense of connection, of real life connections, has been replaced by online connections, which actually don't let you kind of go to the green thing, which is really, really important. So, for most people in the United Kingdom, if you take away the element of what Shabana Mahmood is talking about, we're already plagued with something attacking the yellow band of what we need to thrive as human beings. Part of that, security and safety, on the next one down, that will also be things like being gaslit by teachers, not being able to trust people, and losing a sense of connection because you don't actually have anywhere firm to stand. Right? So that sense of connection leads you into the next bit: respect of others, needing to be unique, achievement, confidence, etc. So those things, that green is something really, really difficult for the current sort of generation of, let's say, 4 to 25-year-olds, maybe 30-year-olds. They're finding it really difficult with the green, which is why many of them are assholes. Let's face it. Okay. Many of them, they have lost their sense of connection. They have lost what it means to have a family. They have lost all that stuff because they've missed out on chunks of parenting. Tomorrow I'm going to do a little lesson on the monkey experiment and motherhood, but we'll leave that right now, and this will link back in. So do join me tomorrow. So what do we do? What relevance is this when it comes to importing rapists and murderers and insanely violent in a barbarian kind of a barbarism that we don't really see very much over here? Like, maybe we're seeing more of it, but we are definitely importing it. There's a definite different level of violence that you see in other parts of the world in comparison to the United Kingdom, right? We don't the mass stabbings is new. The kind of gang violence. Now, I'm not talking about. So let me just make this really clear. I know, and you know, that white people and British men more generally do actually rape women and children. We know that. We're well aware of it. We talk about it. And women, even on the left, talk about that. What they don't talk about is when brown people do it, because fundamentally women on the left are very, very racist. So they can't talk about things without thinking, oh my God, someone thinks I'm racist, because they are very, very racist. That's the only thing I can explain. That's the only reason I can kind of think of that's what the difference is between me talking about stuff and them talking about stuff, is they are very, very racist. And so they think if they talk about Pakistani Muslim paedophile rape gangs, that means that they think all Pakistani Muslims are paedophile rapists. And that's because they're very, very racist. I, however, am not. I am just very, very aware that certain communities and cultures are terrible, terrifying, awful, dreadful. You would have to be some exceptional level of moron to allow your daughter or wife, for example, to go backpacking on her own in Pakistan. I mean, you'd have to be quite stupid to do it anywhere, but I know women do. But we know that women on their own in certain countries are more vulnerable than they are in other countries. Like, it might be a stupid thing to walk home in a city centre or through particular areas of city centres, regardless of the colour of the population or the culture of the population. At night, it might always be high risk, but for most women, you walking around in the United Kingdom during the day, you're not really at great risk. And I can't say that for the same in Pakistan, many areas of India, although not as many as Pakistan. And there is a common factor there, and that would be the misogyny and Muslim together. That would be pretty bad. I wouldn't advise a woman walking around showing her face in Afghanistan. I wouldn't advise a woman going to Yemen. There's a common denominator in all these countries. And there's other countries, like, there's other countries that aren't predominantly Muslim that are really terrifying for women. But I don't think there's any country that's predominantly Muslim that isn't terrifying for women. If you'd like to suggest them in the comments, you can. I can't read any of them at the moment because there's something going on. But feel free to disagree. If there are exceptionally high rates or low rates of sexual violence and violence in general against women, and women have super, super rights in a country that is also predominantly Muslim, then I am intrigued, because I don't think that exists at all. But if you want to find them, you can. Anyway, so what we do with this Maslow's hierarchy of needs is we are importing people from countries where they are not really safely in orange, right? They aren't. And we feel that they don't have enough stuff of the red, like the physiological needs. And so what we do is we say, oh, we will come down, we will leap down and care about the red zone of these people. And what we will do is we will join them in the red zone. We will basically give away the safety and security of our children and the women of this country. And we will do that to enable people who will cause us harm. And we don't know that they don't. So I'm saying they are high risk. And we know that they do, because there's too many cases to say that it's a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Male violence exists. It would be just the most stupid thing for any government to pretend that they don't know they're importing more. They're just liars. They just don't care. They just don't care that it's your daughter. They're not opening a little home. They're not changing a hotel at the end of their streets, are they? No, they're not. They're not opening their right on their doorstep to more violence and risk. No, they're doing it to you. These hotels are not beautiful hotels that people are using and making money. And let me just say, it is up to all of us to start naming and shaming the hotels that take the money from the government and also the companies that broker those deals, because they are like, eventually what you come back to with government is individual people. So there's an individual somewhere or a team somewhere in government, in the civil service. They will have names. I think we should know who they are. And what those people will be responsible for is drawing up the contracts that enable these HMOs, that there will be people with fatter bank accounts because of it. And what they're all saying is, on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's perfectly legitimate to take you all from a potential green and send you right down into red because they don't give a shit about your safety and the safety of your children. And I think in Epping, or it might be somewhere else, maybe it's another hotel, is literally right next to a school. And someone said the other day on Twitter, "Oh, yeah, but you don't know who's next to a school." Yeah, you do actually, because convicted paedophiles in this country, the police have a database. They might be rubbish at it, but the police have a database. We know who these people are. We know that they can also escape, blah, blah, blah. But these men coming in, for a start, in many of the countries, it doesn't matter that they've been raping boys and girls. They probably aren't even criminalized. The girls are probably dead. The girls are probably stoned to death. Their wives are probably killed, acid attack. Like, I can say all these things and no one can say, "Oh, that's definitely not true," because we just don't know. So think the worst, because that's probably the truth. But I just wanted to discuss this because I think that we are sort of told over here in this country that we're all purple, and we're not. There's many people living in orange, very few people living in red. But right now, the people living in the love and belonging or self-esteem or even self-actualization, what they're being asked to do is they're being asked to give that up to ensure that somebody from another country is seen as more vulnerable. And I just don't think that's true. And I think we need to stop these narratives because it's totally and utterly insane that we would give any of this up. Anyway, I'm wearing a cream Mary Turfmas jumper. Yes, I know, it's amazing. You are welcome. I just thought it was a bit of a point that needed making, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Because we keep being told these people, they are fleeing, blah, 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 and they are escaping. And we know that that's not true. We know that it isn't. But more than that, even if they were, even if that were true, it is not worth us surrendering our relative comfort of not thinking that our daughters are consistently going to get flashed at, raped at, masturbated at. None of it is worth it. Like, frankly, no. Just as far as I'm concerned, I think right now we cannot afford to import another single individual from a country that is predominantly Muslim. I think that would be a starter. I think the other one is countries where women are known to have substandard rights, to the rights that we claim that we've got here. But where women are known not to have human rights, why would you import any men from those countries? Like, why? Why would we? Why would you want a single man that is such a coward that he doesn't stay and try and make the life for the women in his country better? Like, we don't want them here. We just don't want them here. It's not, we don't get anything good out of this particular bargain. I don't give a shit about feeling good about myself about rescuing some bloke from a country where women are stoned to death. Like, fuck off. No, thank you. Anyway, If you if you can keep speaking the truth, even though you're not supposed to at all, then I promise we will win. Uh, if you can keep hoping that any minute now, someone in government is actually going to have the balls to stop these people coming in, and you keep speaking to this, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Well, because I never lose.